in the back of the Clif Bar team truck heading from Watsonville Crit, and we're going to interview a certain voice of American cycling, Dave Towle. Okay, hello Dave.
Hello Dave.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I don't know who told you I was the voice of American cycling though. You're getting bad information.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you've come from and how you've got to where you are with the basically being the voice of American cycling.
All right, well we'll assume that that's true. So I grew up in Boulder, Colorado, which is a big time cycling, maybe not as much as it was when I was a kid, but it's still a big cycling town. And when I was growing up, the Coors Classic was the be all and end all of stage racing in America, and I was lucky enough to, in my neighborhood, the guy Mike Eisner, who was the director of that race, was a big personality in our neighborhood, and a lot of kids got to work for the race. And so in 1981, I got my first job with the race, working with the Soviet team that came over for the Coors that year, that had Sergei Sukhruchenkov, who was the gold medal winner in the Moscow Olympics. It was their A team for sure. At a time in that year, 81, they raced against Greg LeMond, and LeMond beat him. But kind of getting off the subject, but I fell in love with bike racing when I was a kid, and that has never changed. I've been lucky enough. I was a mechanic by trade for a long time, and I got lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time when the Saturn Cycling Classic needed an announcer, and I got a chance to do it. Never looked back.
So you don't just cover road cycling, but you do the cyclocross season as well?
Yeah, cyclocross is huge. As a matter of fact, that's my favorite part of the year, without a doubt.
Have you got any riders that you enjoy interviewing or getting a quick chat to and having a bit of banter with prior to the race, knowing that you're going to get a good crowd response?
That's a great question. You know, unfortunately, in America, we don't really do many pre-race interviews with riders. That's something we should look at, actually. But as a matter of fact, that's a great idea. Generally, we wait until afterwards. So
you can have that one.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'll take it. I always think that Todd Wells is great for a quote. Todd Wells is a really interesting guy, and he actually answers questions, and he's really good at describing what's going on out there and what he's doing. So I'd have to say Todd makes the top of that list.
With American cycling, how does it differ, the scene-wise, to the European scene in your view?
You know, I think that, especially with cyclocross is a great example. Road racing, it holds true as well. But the thing I've learned being over there is that the European sports fan is a lot like the American sports fan. The difference is, like a guy who would go to a Denver Broncos game is not really all that different than a Belgian that would go watch the Ronde van Vlaanderen. But the difference is, in America, when you go to a cyclocross race, just about everybody who is there is either participating in the race at some point in their amateur categories or their master categories, or is a friend or family member of somebody who's participating. So it's really a close-knit group. You're either racing or you actually know somebody who's racing. Where in Europe, it's just like, it's not like people who go to a Denver Broncos game actually personally know any of the Denver Broncos. They're there for the big picture. So cycling in America is much more personal, I would say.
Awesome. You're off to the Tour of Utah now. So you're going from a small critirium up to Utah. What have you got any favourite sort of races that you like to cover during the year?
Well, it's hard to get away from, if you're going to do what I do, it's nice to have huge crowds and people who are really stoked about what they're seeing. And so something like the Amgen Tour of California, that's going to be the pinnacle for me. I mean, the crowd's massive. It's the highest level of racing. The top riders in the world are there. People are interested in what you're doing. It even transcends just the small world of cycling, but it's bigger than that, and you feel like you're involved in something that really matters. And Tour of Utah will definitely qualify as that as well. I mean, it's big-time racers in a beautiful state with people who really care about not only just the racing, but the whole production and the whole show. So it's really awesome to be involved with something. There's so many people who are so good at what they do, putting you in a position to get to announce a really kick-ass bike race.
What races in the US should the rest of the world be looking out for now? What big ones do you think are up and coming?
Well, there's no question. It's been kind of weird getting to this August, but the USA Pro Cycling Challenge that's taking place in Colorado is going to be a massive event. The entire podium for the Tour de France is coming. You're going to have both Schleck brothers there. Cadell Evans is going to be there. I think that this one, Utah is huge. Colorado's going to be huge. And right now, I mean, you look at California, Utah, and Colorado, and you've got 3 really solid stage races to build a year on. So American racing is in great shape. And I mean, to answer your question, though, there is nothing better than the feeling of being on stage in Amgen Tour, California. It's sick.
Awesome. Okay, Dave, thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Dave.
And have a good flight, mate.
All right.